And thanks for joining us. I'm Bobby Likis. We're back at the CARS Convention, the Congress of Automotive Repair and Service, here in the Big Easy at the Morial Convention. It's a terrific event, and it's an event that is here to educate technicians, the technicians that keep your cars rolling from day to day, and I know that's important to you. And with me is Steve Gough, and Steve is from Induction Innovations, Inc. Rather than to me tell you about his business, we're going to let him do that. Steve, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, hey, thanks for having us on the show, Bobby. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and I understand that your father founded the company.
Yes, he did. My dad was a body man for 28 years, pounding fenders. And, he came out with the product back in the industry, used it a couple of years. He discovered the technology, which is, it's actually a really old technology. Induction heating dates back a couple centuries. And he started using it in the body shop. Started using it to take off body side moldings, decals, graphics, basically anything bonded to metal. He could heat up the metal, melt the adhesive bond, and release the part. And then one day he discovered he could do it with a window. And he said, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. You took a window, a quarter glass on a Chevy Impala that had a 2-hour R&I time, just for the removal, and he took it down to 5 minutes. Didn't have to remove the interior trim, didn't damage any of the paint, didn't damage the weather edging on the window.
Now wait, he's actually using heat on a car without dismantling the car to remove a component that is glued in?
Exactly.
That's what your system does?
Yes, magnetic heat. Okay, so just like a torch, you could see the flame, and anything the flame touches, it heats. Just like a magnet only sticks to metal, this product only heats up metal. So it works from the outside of the vehicle. That magnetic field goes right through the glass, right through the urethane, and only heats up the pinch weld underneath it all. In turn, that melts the urethane bond, and you pry around the outside of the window as you go along heating it, and you remove it. You start to slowly remove that window, walking all the way around.
So you'll walk around maybe that window 1.5 times because it's
just one time.
Just one time.
Yep.
Well, if it dissolves, that's interesting. If it dissolves the bonding agent, doesn't the bonding agent by heat and then re-glue itself or reattach itself?
Butyl might do something like that, but urethane, once you heat it up and it melts and you pry out, it releases, it doesn't go back.
Doesn't go back.
No.
And of course, I'm thinking, well, heat. I'm thinking like a torch. You don't use torches.
No. This is magnetic. I mean, if you don't have any metal implants or any jewelry on, you could actually hold the product up to the bottom of your hand, put a piece of metal on the top of your hand, and heat up the metal without your hand getting hot. The field goes right through it.
So it uses. How does it work?
Magnetic fields. So you have a magnet with a north and a south pole.
Got it.
We're switching the polarity of that magnet back and forth about 60,000 times per second. So every time you switch the polarity, the molecules in the metal want to realign themselves with the polar fields. Do it fast enough, we're creating friction.
So it is a microwave made for the body business.
Okay, you might say that. Well, sure. Absolutely.
It's magic at a wand. Is this the wand?
This is something a little bit different. So the first 6-7 years of the business, we had mechanics coming up to us. And what you're looking at here is the mini ductor. Mechanics kept coming up to us and said, I love your product. I like that you could use it for heating up nuts and bolts. But I don't want to buy all this other stuff. I just want to heat up nuts and bolts. So we listened to them. In fact, our first version was built inside of a white PVC pipe, a little crude looking, but we're a family business, and that's what we had to do to get our foot in the door.
Got it.
So we came out with the Mini Ductor Original, and we sold it to the mechanics out there, and they loved it. They ate it up. We got distribution around the country coming to our door saying, we want to sell your product. This is the greatest thing in the world. I don't care what it looks like. And we even had people coming around the world saying, can you make it for 220 volts? And we worked on it, and finally at the beginning of this year, we released it to the rest of the world. And the Mini Ductor 2 has been a huge success. It's doubled the growth of our company this year alone, just by going global with this product. There's no flame with this product. So you put the nut into the end of the coil here. Let me do this so the camera can see.
Okay, I'll hold it.
And I don't have power here. It takes about 10 amps, and we didn't hook it up here. But you just put that nut right in there, and it doesn't actually even have to touch the coil. That magnetic field goes into the nut, and I can actually turn that nut cherry red in about 15 seconds. Now, of course, we don't need to heat up real nuts in the vehicle cherry red because that's going to change the molecular structure of that nut.
Right.
So we wouldn't want to use that again, of course. But this coil's bendable too. So we have longer coils for getting into deeper places. For inline applications where we can't get the coil around, what we actually do is pull the coil apart.
Well, you're destroying your tool.
No, the coils are moldable. So you can change the shape, whatever shape you need.
How long will the coil last?
You get a few hundred uses out of it on average. In our show here, we have an automated demonstration machine. We get well over 3,000 uses out of it, but the coil never actually touches a nut, so we never get the friction wear from the fiberglass, which protects the coil.
Got it.
But for inline applications, you split that apart and you lay that right in line. So if you can't get over something, you can get in line with it. Now we also have a flexible bearing buddy one, which is kind of like a shoelace. You just wrap it around, plug the other end in for O2 sensors, bearings, pulling the bearings apart, pulling the race out.
So a practical use. Now you mentioned O2 sensors. O2 sensors can really be tough to get out, and the thread will gall as the unit comes out as well.
Yeah.
And it's also difficult, as you know, to heat up one product and not heat up the other.
It is.
And in the case of a stud and a nut, you don't want the stud to grow.
No.
No. You want the nut to grow away from.
Exactly.
And that's what this device does.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing is when you heat up the nut, you're expanding the nut. Whenever we heat something, it expands. So when it expands, it's breaking the rust bond or the corrosion bond or even the thread lock compound bond. Okay, so it expands that nut, and now we can take that nut off while it's hot. Stick your socket right on there, crank it right out.
You mentioned distribution. Where is your distribution? Where can...
Anywhere you buy tools from, you can get our product. We make sure that everybody has access to it. But in specific, Snap-on, Mac Tools, and Cornwell Tools all sell our product.
And the product brand name?
The Mini Ductor by Induction Innovations.
Mini Ductor, D-U-C-T-O-R.
You got it. Mini Ductor 2. This is the second version.
That's the second version. Yeah. Well, how big was the first version?
The same size. It was a little bit gaudier on the handle here. It was just a white PVC pipe.
How about the PVC? I mean, the original one. It was probably a prototype this huge.
One of our original prototypes for our bigger equipment was a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And the guys in the shop always called it the magic wand when my dad was using it in the shop. But we went with the Mini Ductor on this product, and
it's powered by 110 volts.
110 volts. Yep. Just plugs right into a regular household current.
And the current draw.
10 amps.
10 amps?
10 amps.
So you see, you don't buy gas. You don't have to torch. You don't have to pull a big tank around with you.
And you're not damaging anything.
You're not damaging anything. I think you got a winner. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
The name of the company again?
Induction Innovations.
Induction Innovations.
You got it.
Steve, welcome. Thank you.
Hey, thanks again, Bobby.
Great product. There you have it from the Cars Convention. Just another easy way and another way for you as a technician to provide a service to your customers that's more convenient, less damaging, and perhaps profitable at the same time. Thanks for tuning in to Bobby Likis Car Clinic here from the Cars Convention in Louisiana, the Big Easy, Louisiana.